Okay, welcome back to the 2018 Battle of the All-Stars. We're here at the Inline 309 Sports Complex here in Hatfield, Pennsylvania, where in just a couple of minutes we're going to see the Pennsylvania All-Stars facing off against the Ohio All-Stars. This is Gretchen Little. I am here with Kent the politician. Kent, how are you today?
I need your vote.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, that was a different meeting.
It's all the same, on a larger plane. This is the first round of the championship bracket competition. This is actually a quarterfinal game now between Pennsylvania and Ohio. Ohio coming in as a lower seed, Pennsylvania as the top seed in this. To get to this point, Ohio had to play Kansas. They beat Kansas 125-44. They had to play North Carolina. They beat North Carolina 87-70. They did take a loss to Colorado, but they're not alone in that. Colorado very strong this weekend. They beat the Ohio team 174-16. Pennsylvania looking to regain the crown here at Battle of the All-Stars. They lost it to New York last year. They beat West Virginia by a score of 287-13. They beat Kentucky by a score of 305-28, and they beat Maryland by a score of 261-41 yesterday. So Pennsylvania on a roll, but this game is the one that matters because you have to win in order to progress to the championship round.
Yeah, the winner will play New York. You just saw New York defeat Michigan. Michigan was a #1 seed, but they were upset by Massachusetts late in the day yesterday. So yeah, I'm Kent Smith, a.k.a. Kent the Politician. Call for Cleveland's own Burning River Roller Derby. You're seeing Ohio line up in orange. You're seeing Pennsylvania line up in blue. Looks like it's going to be Ballistic for Ohio.
And that's Lurs Lemon jamming for the Pennsylvania All-Stars. Lurs has been the premier or first jammer fielded each of the 3 games so far for Pennsylvania. She skates out of the Brandywine Roller Girls.
Yeah, and Ballistic jams for Gem City. We've got a very strong Gem City set of jammers that the Ohio All-Stars have used. Gem City is the team from Dayton, Ohio.
First penalty of the game going against Teflon Donna of Philly Roller Derby.
She was cheating. I saw that very clearly.
Lead jammer awarded to Lurs Lemon now. Ballistic still bumping up against V-Diva and company up front.
Yeah, V-Diva joined there by Kick Ash of Brandywine. Ballistic gets through. Good news for Ohio, perhaps trying to limit the damage. Lurs Lemon is out, 4 points up for Pennsylvania.
Lurs looking to her coach, Hot Wheels, to see whether to call off the jam. I think coach wanted to give Teflon Donna a chance to get out of the penalty box. Donna is released, and now Lurs calls off the jam after scoring 4 more points, 8-4.
Yeah, and Reckless Ratchet went into the box for Ohio, so Ohio will be down a blocker once we get underway, but yeah, good job for Ballistic. Ballistic is a third-year skater with Gem City, and she's actually the least experienced skater of the Ohio All-Stars. So this is actually a very veteran squad that Ohio is fielding, and that, I think, perhaps one of the reasons for the success. They beat North Carolina yesterday. It was the first time in any Battle of the All-Stars play that they actually beat North Carolina.
Back to the action.
Oh,
Olive Havoc
Olive
Havoc is jamming for Pennsylvania. She's had a very successful rookie year with the Pennsylvania All-Stars. No rookie to roller derby. She's been playing for the Black Rose Rollers out of Hanover, Pennsylvania for 8 years now. She is lead jammer.
It is Sarah, Problem Officer, takes a spill right in front of the camera there. For Ohio, Sarah jams for Little Steel, which is based in Youngstown. And Olive she's got Pain Train out in front of her, getting some offensive support from the Pennsylvania pivot, and
that's Russian Bayou.
And the star pass to Pain Train from Sarah, Problem Officer.
Okay, about 40 feet advantage for Olive Havoc on the second pass. She is going to hit the pack. Will she hit her hips? She does not, and that's going to allow some points up by Pain Train.
Pain Train taken off her skates by Sophia, number 34. Interesting story. Sophia was with Little Steel and was an Ohio All-Star skater.
I seem to recall Sophia on the Ohio All-Star squad in previous incarnations of this tournament, Ken.
Many Ohio opponents remember Sophia, too, as she was a blocking force. So, yeah, kind of fun to see Pain Train and Sophia collide there.
Okay, we're going to see what that's okay. 4 more points put up for Olive Havoc. That's an 8-4 jam in favor of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania doubled up on Ohio 16-8.
So the clock on the scoreboard and the clock on your TV graphic says 27 minutes, and just now they've taken it down to 20 minutes, so it should be approximately 17 minutes.
Yes,
so,
these are 40-minute games.
Right. So we're at an official official timeout right now, and it's purely to set the clock. And again, it'll be interesting to see if they take it to what should be in the 17-minute range.
Thank you for that clarification. Another clarification in this format is 5 fouls and you're out. Also,
so I'll go sit in the car, I guess.
Okay, we're watching you very closely. You're on 4.5 right now, Kent. We have another interesting wrinkle. There is only 1 official review permitted per team, and it's not a retainable official review. So you really got to want to use that in order to engage it. Obviously, you can use it as a timeout, but there are 2 timeouts awarded and 1 official review for the entire game.
Right. So, 3 play stoppages available to each team. The official review, which even if you win it, you don't get it back. The 2 timeouts. Our periods go from what was 15 minutes to 20 minutes for a total of 40. And we actually are going to switch benches and have an actual halftime. Now, our first 60-minute bout is the 8 o'clock game on Saturday night. That is our final game tonight. Then every bout on Sunday is a 60-minute bout. So we're going from 30 to 40 to 60.
Yeah, in this championship round, we're going to have both the semifinal games and the championship games tomorrow. So the winner of Pennsylvania and Ohio here is going to be playing the winner of Colorado. We'll get to that in a minute. We're getting ready to start play again. Yeah. We have Veronica Getzberger on the line for Pennsylvania.
And Fireball Phoenix for Ohio, a skater with Akron Roller Derby. And the clock has properly reset to now just under 17 minutes to play in the first half.
Veronica Getzberger, a long-time skater for V-Diva's home league now, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Roller Radicals up in the northeastern part of Pennsylvania. No clear advantage to either jammer right now, Kent. The defense really locking down.
Yeah, Heartless Glitch, Tara Holinew holding down the pack. Lexi Dexy, better known as Lexical Dexterity, in the box for Ohio. So Ohio down a blocker.
Now we have a power jam as a forearm is the call on Veronica Getzberger. Pennsylvania is going to see what they can do.
Yeah, Fireball Phoenix out there trying to get some offensive support there from Tara Holinew from Gem City. Also Twin Pistol, one of the original Ohio All-Star captains 5 years ago. So Fireball Phoenix makes it through.
She's not lead jammer, and no pass, no penalty. We've got 52 seconds left on the jam clock. Veronica Getzberger is standing in the penalty box now, but this is a scoring pass for Ohio.
Yeah, Thumper took Fireball Phoenix off her skates there in turn 3. All the action now about as far away from us as we can get.
That's right, Veronica Getzberger back into the pack, and she's going to go back into the penalty box on a high block. She made contact between turns 3 and 4, and Getzberger's got to watch that because she is now 40% of the way to fouling out of this game.
And the star's been passed to the pivot. That is, I believe, because she's a little bit covered up, Lexi Dexy of Gem City, a.k.a. Lexical Dexterity.
Yep, and she's rolled back now by V Diva for the Pennsylvania All-Stars in the pivot position.
And the jam comes to an end right there, yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a hard-fought defensive battle, but points put up by Ohio, 3 to be exact. 4 now, one more put up, 16-12 in favor of the Pennsylvania All-Stars. Veronica Getzberger standing up in the penalty box. Russian Bayou, the pivot for Pennsylvania now. This is Pain Train again, is it not?
No, this is Ballistic.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, no, it's all good. What's interesting is the probably the most effective jammer that we've had has been Supersonic, and Supersonic has yet to put on the star. So we'll see if the strategy changes. With the Power Jam start, I wondered if they were going to put Supersonic out there. They go back to the strong jammer Ballistic.
And
but
out of the penalty box with a head of steam, Veronica Getzberger, lead jammer for Pennsylvania. You wonder whether coach is going to want to keep her out there much longer now with those 2 quick penalties, but really no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, Veronica comes through. Ballistic still held up in the pack, and Ballistic has passed the star to number 0125, Paige Bleed of the Ohio Roller Derby skating team in Columbus.
Well, Paige Bleed doing a nice job absorbing a hit from Gore Jess. It knocked her to the floor, but she was able to stay in bounds. She's in scoring position now. Getzberger looking to complete a scoring pass. She does.
Yeah, good attempted defense by Crum, number 93 for Ohio. Crum, one of the MVPs in Ohio's first couple of bouts.
Well, Paige Bleed stealing a point at the back of the pack, Kent. She is awarded 1, 4 more for Getzberger. It's a 9-1 jam for Pennsylvania.
Those Ohio jammers, sneaky, sneaky.
Well done. Betty Switch now in her first jam of the contest for Pennsylvania, getting very low, is Sarah Problem Officer for Ohio.
Yes. Supersonic out there wearing the pivot stripe, so we'll see if that bit of strategery unfolds. Also in the pack, Heartless Glitch, Ratchet, Reckless Ratchet. Both of those are skaters for Gem City. So your entire pack is out there on the track is skaters from Dayton, Gem City.
Well, they fought valiantly, were not able to stop Switch on the initial pass. She is lead jammer, and she now is awarded 5 points. Pennsylvania locking down on Sarah Problem Officer, who is passing the star now. That's Supersonic, jammer of record for the ladies in orange.
So it was so.
Well,
so,
now.
Yeah. So Supersonic has the star in hand, but Sarah Problem Officer had it. The illegal procedure call on Sarah Problem Officer. So this is a power jam for Betty Switch of Pennsylvania.
The star now, I don't know whether you can see it on the screen, on the outside straightaway, just out of bounds. Betty Switch with the green light now with 14 points.
Yeah, and it was actually a really good play. Carmina Pirana, Burning River, came out of the box, gave Sarah Problem Officer a leverage block, and Sarah passed the star. I actually thought it was a really great, well-executed plan, and unfortunately the illegal procedure call sent it all up in flames.
Yes, the best laid plans sometimes do go to waste. Betty Switch looking for more. Coming through backwards, a move reminiscent of Snot Rocket Science, another legendary Pennsylvania player.
And Betty Switch, if I can jump in, it gives Ohio skaters nightmares because she was skating with North Carolina, I think 3 years ago, when North Carolina upended Ohio, and Ohio was favored in that. So, I will always remember Betty Switch, and I'm not the least bit surprised that she puts up 23 points against Ohio.
There may be more on the back end of that.
You're right.
Sarah Problem Officer had finally completed the initial pass. That's a 27-point jam, really pounding the game open in favor of Pennsylvania. Up until then, a fairly close point differential.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Pennsylvania had scored, but they'd only scored in single-digit margins. And Ohio had actually scored in every jam until Betty Switch drops a 27-0 on you.
Here comes Lurs Lemon on the outside straightaway. Lead jammer for Pennsylvania. Ohio with a pack advantage right now. Pennsylvania with a blocker in the box.
Fireball Phoenix able to get by. That was Thumper. So both jammers on a scoring pass. Lurs Lemon called for, I think, a forearm.
Called for cutting the track.
Okay, I couldn't see the ref signal. Everyone was standing in front of me.
The outside pack referee said it was a no pass, no penalty, but the inside pack referee saw a different story and called off Lurs Lemon, Power Jam, Ohio.
And Thumper goes to the box, so it is a 3-on-2 pack advantage. Fireball Phoenix now getting some assists from Holly Carburetor, Pain Train, Star now in hand, Paige Bleed also out there. So it's Pain Train who's wearing the pivot if Fireball can make the pass.
Built to spill on the defensive end for Pennsylvania, along with Russian Bayou and Kesha Later. So that is a Philly-centric defensive formation.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun of the Battle of the All-Stars, is you'll sometimes still see teammates working together as all-star team members.
Power Jam is over. Lurs Lemon through the pack now, and that was a scoring pass. She's awarded 5.
Yeah.
Both teams at full strength. Lurs Lemon this time pounded to the infield. That was Pain Train.
That was Pain Train.
And that is taking Lurs Lemon back to the pivot line. She'll have to regroup.
It's perhaps not a bad strategy because the jam clock's about to expire. That if you're just not having any luck, well, until Lurs Lemon, I don't know if she's going to get credit for. She will.
That was a sneaky.
No.
Waiting for the cut track call. Lurs Lemon thought she had gotten away with that, but the jam referee now is signaling 4 more points for Lurs Lemon, but sending her to the penalty box.
Yeah. You and I had a good view of it, and I was surprised that Lurs got up and then proceeded. I thought she was going to rotate herself back.
She certainly had the opportunity there in the middle of turn 4 to go back into the infield.
Right.
And did not do that. So we are back to live action.
And Ohio sends out jammer Ballistic for Gem City. Ballistic was this is her 3rd jam against Pennsylvania. We are 7 jams into this. This is jam number 7.
Ballistic pushing the front of the pack, and she is your lead jammer.
Yeah, good job by Ballistic. Getting some support by Reckless Ratchet, Tara Hole-in-You, Finisher, and somebody else, Lexi Dexy.
Ballistic able to do what very few jammers have been able to do this weekend, and that was make it through on the initial pass despite the best ministrations of V Diva.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Diva's pretty much been playing every jam in the pack.
That's
just
right.
Because of the effective defense.
Kick Ash with the rollback now on Ballistic, and the power jam is over. Lurs Lemon completes an initial pass. Ballistic calling off the jam. One quick point given to Lurs Lemon at the back of the pack. Ballistic awarded 3.
Yeah, good job by Ballistic, able to put some points up on the board. But yeah, really good job by Lurs Lemon, just being cognizant of what's going on the track and able to steal a point. Again, Ohio has scored in all but 1 jam, and that was the huge Betty Switch jam.
That's really the difference in the game. Otherwise, Pennsylvania may have a lead, but not a commanding lead.
Yeah.
This is now Olive Havoc squirting through right in the middle of the pack. Lead jammer for Pennsylvania.
Carmina Pirana goes back to the box. That is penalty number 3 for her. And again, you only get 5. Carmina, talented blocker for Cleveland's Burning River and one of the captains for Ohio.
Betty TKO pushing on Olive Havoc and pulling the track cut. Olive Havoc's going to have to sit down. Nice veteran move by Betty TKO on the outside of turn 1.
Betty, also one of the Ohio captains. Ohio has 3 captains, and Betty has just been very impressive. Not just because of her athleticism, but because of her absolutely cool head out on the track.
Well, she showed it right there. Now Sarah Problem Officer has the Pennsylvania defense to contend with. Russian Bayou in the pivot position holds down the inside line.
Yeah, Betty TKO is wearing the stripe as the pivot if Sarah wants to hand it off, but there's the angle they needed. Ohio was able to push Pennsylvania to the outside line. Sarah Problem Officer took the inside line. So the power jam now over, and both jammers on a scoring pass.
That's right. Olive Havoc released from the penalty box. 43 seconds of jam time on the clock. So that's a lot of opportunities for scoring. Both teams defending pretty staunchly right now.
Sophia really trying to lay the lumber against the Ohio blockers as an offensive blocker, and it works. It gets Olive Havoc through, so 5 additional points for Pennsylvania.
Now Thumper from Brandywine with the rollback on Sarah Problem Officer. A second scoring pass for Olive Havoc, thwarted again by Betty TKO.
Yeah, really good job by Betty. And Sarah on a scoring pass, and oh, she handed the star to Betty TKO, and Sarah's skates were just outside of the track.
Oh, she's hanging the head a little bit in the penalty box, and that is a unforced error, unfortunately.
And again, right at the end of the jam, and literally if it's 1 second later, she has both skates inside. It was the right call by the refs. We had a great view of it. But yeah, just really unfortunate development there.
She got 3 points on the jam. Olive Havoc got 9. Pennsylvania in a power start. Now, this is the first time we've seen V-Diva with the star all weekend long, and V-Diva immediately establishes lead jammer position with this pack advantage and power jam in favor of Pennsylvania. You can see why you might want to call out the big guns.
And who's V-Diva again?
Vanessa Seitz, starting from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Roller Radicals, and now returning after a storied career with several franchises to the Roller Radicals.
But also V-Diva, one of the founders of the Battle of the All-Stars tournament.
That's correct.
And so, which is a tremendous tournament for so many teams, and a track cut on Sarah Problem Officer. She's having just a really bad go of it at the moment.
Very difficult stretch for her. That's a quick 2 trips. Again, you only get 5 trips to the penalty box.
Yeah, and I think she had one before, so she might be sitting on 3 already.
Okay, Supersonic doing what she can, and coming in at the back end, Coco Sparks slowing down V-Diva for Ohio.
Yeah, Tara Holinew also out there playing defense along with Heartless Glitch. And so again, in Supersonic was wearing the stripe. I think the strategy was, to give Sarah that option to pass the star.
Well, on the power jam with V-Diva, Ohio doing fairly well to hold her to 18 points. However, that was an 18-0 run for Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania on 94 now. Ohio at 23, and Betty Switch, the author of that big 27-point jam, ready to go again for the Pennsylvania All-Stars.
She's going to give me more nightmares.
Well,
she's so good at roller derby, and I hate her because of that.
Both teams with 1 in the box. However, Ohio's jammer, Sarah Problem Officer, is released from the box. Betty Switch awarded lead jammer position.
All right, and Sarah found daylight coming out of the box through turn 2. Betty Switch on a scoring pass. Sarah Problem Officer doing a nice job. Half-track lead for Betty Switch. Pain Train playing defense against Betty.
Well, Sarah Problem Officer digging into the 3 wall of Pennsylvania defenders. 4 points put up by Betty Switch. Teflon Donna back on the track. Always a calming influence for the Pennsylvania All-Stars or any team that she plays for. Teflon Donna with the stripe now, bouncing Sarah Problem Officer out, rolling her back and into the infield.
So yeah, Sarah Problem Officers probably put some points on the board. But speaking of points on the board, Betty Switch with now what will be another double-digit scoring jam, probably sitting on 15. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and the pack at a standstill in the far straightaway. That gives Switch an opportunity to put the speed through the pack. Another 5 points. The Pennsylvania defense certainly locking down right now. We have a star pass to Pain Train, and Pain Train able to pivot through on the inside of turn 3. So this will change the complexion of the jam a little bit. Betty Switch is going to call off the jam, and she looks like she caught a shot in the chops. She's going down to her knees outside of turn number 3. Can't really get a very close look at her, but boy, she went down. She had the alertness to call off the jam, but she's getting immediate attention. She's taken off her helmet.
Now up on one knee. So.
Yeah, I think she just got popped, and when you feel that immediate sensation, again, great awareness to be able to call off the jam and get off the track, but I don't know whether the clock was stopped, so she won't be able to come back in this period with 36 seconds left on the period clock.
Yeah, but she put up 22 points.
Yeah, so now she's got 49 points in 2 jams.
Yeah.
I think she's earned a seat for a little bit.
Maybe as an elected official in Ohio, I should just grant her citizenship to Ohio in the hopes that she comes and plays for our team.
Nikki Cash coming up to jam for the Pennsylvania All-Stars. Paige Bleed, I believe, wearing the star for Ohio.
Nikki Cash skated with Team Virginia, and then her day life took her to other states. But Nikki Cash was actually an announcer for us at Battle of the All-Stars 3.
I think I announced her first game. Oh, she's called for cutting the track, though. The Pi Radical, the outside pack referee, had the eyes directly on the line, calling the cutting the track penalty. There's 6 seconds left on the period clock, and this is a powered jam for Ohio.
Right, so Fireball Phoenix jamming for Ohio. Reckless Ratchet wearing the stripe. Reckless Ratchet has had a very good tournament as a jammer. She's kind of been the number 2 jammer behind Supersonic.
Well, there's that Philly 3-wall again with Teflon Donna, Pilt to Spill, and Russian Bayou, but they can't prevent a star pass.
Yeah, so what you have right now is you have Philadelphia on the track versus Dayton, Gem City, with the exception of, because here goes Reckless Ratchet around, and she's a Gem City jammer. The Gem City jammers are just a really talented group here in Ohio.
Yeah, well, a scoring pass on that one. Nikki Cash is through the penalty box, or out of the penalty box now, through the pack on an initial pass, and this should be a scoring pass. It is 4 points for Nikki Cash. 26 seconds left on the jam clock. Period clock has expired, and the penalty box has now been completely purged.
Nobody in the penalty box. 17 seconds left in the jam. Both jammers on scoring passes. Reckless Ratchet has put some points up. Nikki Cash going up against the front wall of Ohio in orange.
Yeah, and they're doing a nice job of holding her off. Nikki Cash fighting her way through, but then the defense reforming in front of her. And a high block is called right at the end of the period. That's going to go against Fireball Phoenix. Ohio will be starting with 1 blocker in the penalty box and a 90-point lead for Pennsylvania, 124 to 34. I'm Gretchen Little.
With Kent, the politician.
We'll be back with the second period of this quarterfinal game from the Battle of the All-Stars 2018 in just a few minutes. Okay, we are back. Almost ready to start the second period of play here in the first quarterfinal. Excuse me, it's not the first quarterfinal, it's the second quarterfinal game. New York won their battle against Michigan. Pennsylvania now ahead against Ohio in another quarterfinal matchup for the championship of the 2018 Battle of the All-Stars. I am Gretchen Little, and I'm here with Kent Smith, the politician.
That's right, Kent Smith, the politician from Ohio. So yeah, our 8 teams that are in kind of the winner's bracket are New York, Michigan. New York won that. Pennsylvania, Ohio. Pennsylvania leading at halftime. Coming up, Colorado and Virginia. Could be a great matchup because Virginia's playing very well. Colorado has been just destroying people. And Massachusetts, who upset Michigan, coming in as the #1 seed in that bracket, and they'll be taking on Maryland. So that's the next 2 bouts following this one. And again, those are the 8 teams in the winner's bracket.
And then we'll know who will be playing tomorrow in the semifinal games for the championship. Of course, New York, the defending champion here at the Battle of the All-Stars. Pennsylvania upset by the New York All-Stars last year. I say upset because Pennsylvania had been the champion the previous 3 years. I don't know that New York felt that it was an upset last year when they took that win.
Well, yeah, New York added to their what was their traditional Battle of the All-Stars roster with some of the real talent coming out of Queen City, which is in Buffalo. Brawlian, Incinerator was on last year's team. A couple of solid blockers. So anyway, we're about ready to get underway. 20 minutes remaining. Again, we're playing 2 20-minute halves. We have Ballistic going up, jamming for Ohio against...
And it's Lurs Lemon from Brandywine Roller Girls for Pennsylvania. And we are underway. Lurs Lemon doing a very nice job staying in bounds on the outside of turn 1. Lead jammer. It's a 4-3 pack advantage right now in favor of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and Lurs Lemon going airborne, cannot stick the landing. Nice defensive stop there.
Yeah, no, exactly.
By Ohio.
Yeah, I was impressed that Lurs was able to make the initial pass and that pass that we just see. But yeah, she needed to come back after the attempted jump.
That's
Ballistic now star in hand for Ohio. It looks like, based on the activity in the pack, that it's been passed to Paige Bleed, who was the Ohio pivot.
And Pennsylvania quickly clamping down on Paige Bleed. Meanwhile, Lurs Lemon, what Pennsylvania's been doing throughout this tournament so far is really focusing pretty clearly on defense. Ooh, we have a potential injury right now as Lurs Lemon called off the jam, hoping that she is, she's getting up. Okay, rolling out from turn 3.
Yeah, it was turn 3. It was a little tough to tell exactly who was down.
She got bumped to the outside, and that forced her to call off.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to be okay. 12-point jam.
Supersonic is now jamming for the first time for Ohio. Again, Supersonic was probably the most effective Ohio jammer through the first 3 contests.
Yeah, recipient of a couple of star passes also. This is Olive Havoc now for Pennsylvania. Olive Havoc pushing the front of the pack, but now all of a sudden the Ohio defense is getting serious. One to beat up front.
That's Betty TKO.
And Olive Havoc able to win the wrestling match on the outside of turn 2. She is lead jammer. Betty TKO receiving the star for Ohio. That's going to limit Pennsylvania's scoring, perhaps.
But Olive, very quickly through, able to secure those 4 points.
And call off the jam. And Ohio showing some signs of life throughout this game. Pennsylvania, of course, the favorite, one would think, coming into this game, the higher seed for sure, since Ohio did have that one loss in the group round robin turn. Okay, we've got Veronica Getzberger on the line, back from a little bit of a rest at the end of the first period when she picked up 2 quick penalties.
And that is Tara Holinew, but it is Veronica who is out, and Veronica is the lead jammer for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Roller Radicals may make some real solid impact in Division III roller derby this year with Veronica Getzberger along with a couple of their other stars and Vanessa V. Diva Seitz. Of course, Vanessa V. Diva Seitz in the penalty box right now.
Yeah, and that helped get Tara Hole-and-You through, which then in turn forced the call-off. 4
points for Pennsylvania. And Ohio will be starting this next jam with a 4-2 pack advantage.
Coco Sparks wearing the star. Coco, a 5-year veteran of the Ohio Battle of the All-Stars, and her and Twin Pistol were the first 2 captains. Twin is out there as one of Coco's blockers, but yeah, 4-2 pack advantage. Twin is not out there. I was confused by purple helmets. That is Holly Carburetor.
Nikki Cash wearing the star for Pennsylvania. And Thumper along with Russian Bayou, the 2 Pennsylvania defenders, and a little bit of defensive work for Nikki Cash, and Nikki Cash taking a shot to the jaw.
Yep.
Coco Sparks called off on a high block, and that would explain why Nikki Cash was holding her jaw the way she was.
Yeah. So, all right, power jam for Nikki Cash and Pennsylvania. Nikki Cash decides to, again, hand it to that unknown skater wearing 18, V Diva.
Known on 6 continents and probably 7 as soon as we get a Derby League in Antarctica.
There's probably one there already.
There could be.
We're getting a lot of viewership from Antarctica, is what we can tell in our numbers.
Here comes V Diva putting up 5 points, 55 seconds on the jam clock. Lead jam is out of the question right now, so we will be going a full 2 minutes, 5-on-5 on the track. V Diva dodging inside and knocked to the inside by Ballistic. Nice defensive work by Ohio, limiting the damage right now.
Yeah, Coco Sparks, star in hand, held up by the Pennsylvania defenders there in turn 3. See V Diva coming around turn 1, turn 2. Ballistic with a smile as she goes to the bench.
Called for blocking with the head, I believe.
Nikki Cash also going to the box. So jammers of record, Coco Sparks versus V Diva. Coco Sparks now coming into camera view and putting the star on. Coco, a MVP skater for Burning River in Cleveland, has both jammed and blocked. V Diva, I think, wanted to call it off.
Yeah, she thought, why not? We can think of a couple of reasons, but primarily because she took the star, she was not eligible for lead jammer designation. 2 more points put up, 17-point jam for V Diva, and we're waiting for the 0.
Yeah,
for Ohio.
A little surprised at that. I thought Coco actually got some points there on that final pass when we saw V Diva sort of attempting to call it off. But nonetheless, the refs say 0. Ohio held scoreless so far in the second half, and there's that Lures Lemon character who's just been very effective for Pennsylvania. The star passed from Lexi Dexy to Reckless Ratchet again. Ratchet for Gem City took a star at the end of the first half and put up 9 points. That was the biggest scoring jam for Ohio in the first half.
The Lures Lemon putting up 4, just flattening the Ohio defense, but 4 points put up now by Ohio. So we got a little bit of a foot race going on, Kent.
And I think, Ratchet held scoreless.
1 more for Pennsylvania, a 5-4 jam in favor of Pennsylvania, but Ohio now on 38. Pennsylvania 166, 12 minutes, 42 seconds left to go in the second period. Olive Havoc ready to jam for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, when I said Ratchet held scoreless, I meant on that final pass because she did put the first points on the board for Ohio in the second half. So again, Ohio in orange, Pennsylvania in blue. You're watching winners bracket Battle of the All-Stars Day 3, Battle of the All-Stars 5.
That's correct. This is a quarterfinal matchup. The Pennsylvania All-Stars again fielding jammer Olive Havoc. Now Russian Bayou from Philadelphia coming in to try to throw some offense. Will that sprint? Ohio doing a nice job reforming the defense, finally getting through, and lead jammer is Olive Havoc.
Yeah, Paige Bleed jamming for Ohio took the star off and was able to escape the pack, so both jammers now on a scoring pass. Olive Havoc with some very fast moves and good footwork around Supersonic. Looks like Paige is going to get some points for Ohio as Olive is going to try to take an inside line. Goes to the outside.
I spoke to Olive Havoc. She picked up a Most Valuable Player award earlier in the tournament, and I asked her what she had been working on to get her game to this level. And she told me what she has really been working very hard at is hitting the pack at full speed. And you can see that. Of course, now Ohio's slowing her down. She has to go back to her jukes and her pushing. Both defenses really kind of locking down the jammers here in this particular jam. But that's really been something that Olive Havoc has been able to excel at over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, Olive doing a very good job for the Pennsylvania All-Stars in this bout. She has scored in, she's only jammed this is the fourth time, but she scored in the other two jams, or the other three jams rather, that she's worn the star for Ohio, for Pennsylvania.
Well, she's getting 4 this time, and that'll be added to the 4 she had earlier in the jam. It seemed like that jam went for a long time. 3 for Ohio, 8 for Pennsylvania. That's the 6th jam of the second period. Pennsylvania 174, Ohio 41.
10 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the contest. Again, coming up, you've got Colorado versus Virginia and then Massachusetts versus Maryland. Those are the other two bouts in the winner's bracket here on day 3.
Okay, Veronica Getzberger now jamming for Pennsylvania.
And Crum jamming for Ohio. Crum, almost an exclusive blocker, now has star in hand. The pivot is Payne Train. Crum won an MVP award the last bout against Colorado for exceptional blocking.
I think Veronica Getzberger had a back block, but it was on her own teammate, Teflon Donna. Teflon Donna has absorbed worse. The star has been passed now to Payne Train, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yes, you're correct.
And we've got a 5-point scoring pass now for Veronica Getzberger. Payne Train working on the Pennsylvania defense.
Coco Sparks takes a seat next to Holly Carburetor, so it is a 4-2 pack in favor of Pennsylvania.
Finally through on the initial, Payne Train. Veronica Getzberger gets another 5. We'll see whether Getzberger gets a little bit greedy. She is able to get 4 more before calling it off. That is a sweet bit of jamming there as Payne Train was coming in hot, and Getzberger called that one off just in time.
Yeah, Payne Train, again, the Ohio All-Star skaters individually have an awful lot of individual experience. The youngest skater in terms of years on the track is the current jammer for Ohio, Ballistic. But again, Ballistic with 3 years under her belt certainly isn't green in terms of roller derby activity.
Not at all. Here's Nikki Cash now establishing lead jammer position in 7 seconds. Ballistic now pushing the front of the pack. Nice offense there for Ohio. And Ballistic in scoring position as well. Nikki Cash going to have to call off the jam. She received 1 point as Ballistic was breathing down her neck. 8 minutes to go in this contest. We see Lurs Lemon now ready to jam for Pennsylvania.
Supersonic putting the star on for Ohio. That's good news if you're an Ohio fan. This is just the second time Supersonic has jammed. Pennsylvania winning the second half matchup so far, 53-4. So Ohio has been, 53-7. So Ohio has been struggling to find some offensive mojo in the second half. Lures pushed out by Reckless Ratchet, Gem City blocker, and Supersonic with the rotation, and there she goes.
All right, Supersonic, a good choice for the Ohio All-Stars with the star coming in from behind now. Lurs Lemon trying to track her down, but the pack speeding up. Supersonic scoring points, getting around V Diva.
And calls it, again, Supersonic just really talented, very fast, great on her skates, able to do the 180 rotation and not lose any speed. Just very effective.
Not losing any speed and still maintain her directional control, too.
Right.
It's a really fantastically athletic move there to call off that jam. She did get 3 to Lurs Lemon's 1. Olive Havoc now with the star for Pennsylvania. I'm craning my neck. That is Pain Train jamming for Ohio. First jam from the start line. Pain Train's taken a couple of star passes so far in the game. Okay, Olive Havoc gets through first. She is lead jammer. Pain Train looking outside, going face-to-face with Russian Bayou, and Russian Bayou is going to be called off for blocking with the head.
So, yeah, Pain Train now escapes the pack. It is Olive. Olive is on her second scoring pass now. This is the initial pass, so this will be Pain Train's first run through the pack.
Pennsylvania at the back of the pack, so Olive Havoc going to try to push the advantage. Nice bump out there.
Yeah, Carmina Pirana helping to deliver that. Coco Sparks see them arm in arm. Those are actually Burning River teammates.
Well, and Gorgeous rolling back Pain Train, so turnabout is fair play in the sport of roller derby, but getting through first on this scoring pass is Pain Train. That's 4 for Ohio.
Followed closely, though, by Olive Havoc.
Yeah, Olive Havoc had gotten the jammer lap point before Pain Train sprung through the pack for that 4-point scoring pass. And looks like Pennsylvania is going to let this one roll with 5 minutes and 10 seconds on the period clock. Might as well try to just run out the clock on this one with a 151-point lead.
Yeah, and again, Ohio's had some effectiveness. But the power jams, when they've come Pennsylvania's way, that's when Pennsylvania has not just scored points, but scored up, they've really been devastating point totals.
Yeah, just coup de grace kind of shots and most of them by Betty Switch, as we were saying. Oh, cutting the track now is the call on Pain Train. And Olive Havoc now doesn't even have to call off the jam. The jam clock expires.
Yeah, that jam comes to the end, and that's going to be a full 30 seconds for Pain Train in the box. That jam takes Pennsylvania over the 200-point mark.
It does, and Veronica Getzberger will be the jammer. Ohio, the woes are mounting as they have 2 blockers along with Pain Train.
It's a team meeting in the penalty box.
Kesha Later for Pennsylvania standing in the penalty box as we're getting ready to get underway here.
Coco Sparks may have fouled out. I'm trying to kind of just read,
Yes, as we see our head NSO, Stat in the Hat from Harrisburg Area Roller Derby coming out. He normally doesn't walk into the infield unless there's something that he needs to communicate.
So Coco Sparks made it for 36 of the 40 minutes.
Well,
and the very first battle of the All-Stars captain for Ohio. We'll get to watch from the risers here at the inline 309.
Yep, that will be the 5th penalty for Coco Sparks. Again, if you're just tuning in, up for the next couple of games, we are playing 20-minute periods, 5 fouls, and you're out. Only 2 timeouts available per team, and 1 official review. That is not retainable. All right, we've got the housekeeping out of the way.
So the loneliest skaters on the track right now are Betty TKO and Crumb. But you know what? If you needed to only put 2 blockers out there, that's not a bad 2 to put out there.
Not a bad 2 to put out there, and Sophia is going to have to sit down for Pennsylvania. So we've got Veronica Getzberger on a power jam, and she's through. She's lead. She's got 5. Pennsylvania is going to look for more. They have Kesha Later along with V-Diva and Teflon Donna on the track. Nice control on the outside by Getzberger. 5 more, and the Ohio penalty box has been emptied. They're back to full strength.
Yep, it is a jailbreak out of the penalty box at this point, but Veronica Getzberger able to put 15 points up as a very effective power jam start and a blocking with the back penalty against Pain Train. And the power jam begins anew.
Yeah, Veronica Getzberger just getting started now on this one with a minute left on the jam clock. She dodges to the outside and just engages on her own. Teflon Donna now getting in to throw some offense for Getzberger. But holding off at the front, is that ballistic? It is. However, 5 points awarded to Veronica Getzberger. That takes her to 25 on the jam, Kent.
Betty TKO goes to the box, so 4-3 advantage for Pennsylvania. Both jammers on the track.
Pain Train back in action with the star in hand. And Veronica Getzberger, undeterred, picks up 5 more. That's going to take her to 30 this time.
And Pain Train goes back to the box for a track cut. So that's penalty number 3 on this jam. I do not know how many Pain Train was sitting on, but I got to believe this is at least 4 total.
Well, Olive Havoc had a 43-point jam earlier in the tournament. This is a 35-point jam for Veronica Getzberger, courtesy of almost continual power jams by Ohio. You know, just tough luck when you get to a point like this in a game where Ohio's been putting up a serious challenge the whole way.
If you look at the score differential, so we're at 1:30 left. This was going to be the best competition that Pennsylvania had faced. Now again, if Nikki Cash adds another 18 points, she'll match the lowest winning final total for Pennsylvania, and that's entirely possible with Nikki Cash.
That's true. There's a minute 14 left. Nikki Cash is lead jammer, but
the 51 points scored by Ohio is more than anybody has put up against Pennsylvania.
That's correct, by several, and Pennsylvania has scored, the lowest they scored was against Maryland with 261. So, yeah, but for that power jam situation over the last couple of jams, you know, this would have been a credible Ohio challenge to Pennsylvania. We have a star pass to Ballistic now for Ohio.
Ohio has a lot that they can take away from positively, and an awful lot of teachable moments because, yeah, multiple jammer penalty power jam opportunities in the same jam can make for some devastating totals.
Okay, another star pass this time for Pennsylvania. Nikki Cash finds V-Diva. 13-12 now seconds on the period clock. Points put up by Ballistic for Ohio.
Yeah, about 20 seconds to the positive on the jam clock as opposed to the period clock. So,
V-Diva with 4 points. Ballistic now on a second scoring pass.
So yeah, we will run the jam clock to triple zeros, and V-Diva able to again secure some more points for Pennsylvania.
And shrugging off the Ohio defense, Reckless Ratchet trying to lean into V-Diva, and V-Diva just had the shoulder momentum at exactly the right angle, able to complete another scoring pass.
So it is, from an Ohio perspective, if you're looking for good news, the least amount of points Pennsylvania scored and the most points scored against them. However, that is a, 195 5-point margin.
Yeah, if you're looking for good news from the Pennsylvania perspective, it's a 195-point win in a quarterfinal game.
Yeah, exactly.
And Pennsylvania will go on. This is an interesting wrinkle this year, the way things have shaken out. Pennsylvania is now going to play against New York,
In the semis,
which
yeah.
was the championship game last year. It's only a semifinal this year.
I think it's been the championship game all 4 years.
I think you are correct. You are, Kent
There you
Smith.
go. All right, so we're going to talk about MVPs off mic and come back to you with those MVP interviews. But you have just watched Pennsylvania move ahead. They will face New York tomorrow, score 254-59, and we'll be back with interviews.
Hi, this is Gretchen Little with Most Valuable Player for the Pennsylvania All-Stars, Betty Switch. Here is your certificate, Betty. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're with the Hooligans. Now, I know, of course, the Hooligans, but why don't you explain a little bit more about the Hooligans Roller Derby to our viewing audience?
Yeah, so I skate with the Philadelphia Hooligans. We are the men's team that's part of the Penn Jersey Roller Derby League. Our ladies are the She Devils. And I skate with the Hooligans. We went to champs for the first time this year. We went in 10th seed, left 10th seed. Felt pretty good to go. But yeah, we're a men's team, but as you should probably know, men's roller derby accepts all sorts of humans, and I am a human, so they accept me.
Well, we called for you to be the MVP in this game because of those two back-to-back massive power jams you were able to rack up in the first period, which really made the difference. How did that feel on the track?
It felt pretty good. I've played Ohio before at this same tournament when I was with Team North Carolina. That was a super contentious game, and there's a hilarious picture of me in the very last jam because it was like down to 1 point, and I'm like trying to hold her back like this. Back when I used to do my crazy face slashes. But yeah, I like playing Ohio, and it was a good warm-up game because things are about to get a lot more intense tomorrow.
Absolutely. It's an interesting fact. Last couple of years, of course, the final game has been against the New York All-Stars. Now Pennsylvania playing the New York All-Stars in a semifinal game. What are you going to do to get ready?
Goodness. I don't know. Just do what we've been doing. Exactly. Get a good night's sleep, get some rest, roll on a foam rollers, and give each other a bunch of high fives.
Okay, well, Betty Switch, thank you for doing this interview. Great game. Get to your team meeting, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Take it easy.
Hi, I'm Kent Smith, a.k.a. Kent the Politician, with the Ohio MVP from the Ohio-Pennsylvania game. This is Ballistic, number 25. How'd you do out there, Ballistic?
Did pretty good, I would say, for being one of the younger ones on the team, still developing.
Right, so you've only been playing Derby, what, 3 years?
3 years in July.
Yeah, 3 years in July, so 2.5 years. But this is your second year with Battle of the All-Stars as an Ohio team member, right?
Yes, sir.
How's it going this year compared to last year?
It's definitely a challenge in the development, and we definitely played a lot. We played a lot. You can tell we played together, and we stuck together, and that's all that matters when you're building something. You gotta start from somewhere, then once you get there, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ohio played their way into the winner's bracket, so tomorrow you're going to face off against Michigan. So again, you got the opportunity to keep playing, but tell us about. So your name's Ballistic. Tell us why you chose that as your name.
Well, Derby of all sorts was accidental discovery because I did it for the exercise. Then they're really touchy about these Derby names, so I was just like, okay, then. One of my friends, he always watched me play. He's like, what's your Derby name? We got to figure out something. And I always went by Sunshine on the circuit for softball. We can't use that one because that's too pleasant. Then I just tell them, I never know what I'm doing out there. They're like, okay, so you're saying you're ballistic. Then I'm a Taurus. He's like, you know what? Ballistic, because you'd be going out there like a bull.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So accidental discoveries are nice.
There you go. Yeah, and you've been a great discovery for Team Ohio. And coming up, we've got Colorado taking on, who's Colorado taking on? Virginia. And that is the third of 4 battles here in the winner's bracket at Battle of the All-Stars 5. I'm Kent the Politician with the ever-developing athletic presence that is Ballistic of Team Ohio. We'll be right back with Virginia versus Colorado.